Hello my friends, welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Ian with Out of This World Reader, and today's video is going to be kind of my overall plans for the rest of the year. This is going to include some series that I really want to finish before 2023 comes around. That's kind of a scary thought that the numbers just keep getting higher and I'm getting older as they come. But as well as kind of just some standalones that I really want to do, some channel and writing goals that I want to kind of set for the rest of the year. But before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on another adventure. We're going to start with some series that are completed that I would like to finish before this year is over. First off, it is time to start and finish one of the pillars of the fantasy genre, coming from the granddaddy himself. And I really want to pick up this one. I'm actually going to be starting next month, and I will be starting with The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I am ashamed to say that I've never read the story. I haven't even seen the movies. I've just lived under a rock for my whole life, and I think it is finally time to dive into just this series and see how it has kind of inspired a lot of authors and writers to come in the future. I feel like you didn't even have to be a fantasy fan to read this. I feel like just everyone, except me, has read this series. I feel like a lot of people talk about kind of the friendship and the journey and just the bonds that are formed between just the different characters and seeing how their development and arcs through the three books. And like, I don't know, like I have the whole movie collections for both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings that I plan on binging after completing this series. But another one that I'm ashamed to kind of read, that it's not as much as important to me to finish before the year is out. Like, I do want to read it, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it in this year. That is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. I really wanted to start with this first because it sounds like something more I will enjoy, kind of like a whimsical tale and really fleshing out this world, Middle Earth, that J.R.R. Tolkien has inspired. And I really want to just be one of those fans that kind of absolutely enjoy it, dive into all the kind of lore that kind of J.R.R. Tolkien has kind of created in this world. And I'm also hoping to kind of binge this whole series before the new adaptation comes out. I think it's like not the Lord of the Rings, but Rings of Power. And I've heard some mixed feelings about how people are kind of anticipating this release. But I don't know, I usually find some positives in everything, but I just really hope that I enjoy these, because I put the whole series up there and I got all the movies, so if I don't enjoy this, I'm gonna be really disappointed. Another one that I just recently picked up is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. I believe each book won the Hugo Award, and N.K. Jemisin is the only author to do that. But I'm really interested to see how she kind of blends sci-fi and fantasy within this trilogy, and seeing as well as how she kind of includes the themes of oppression and maybe kind of climate change and global warming with everything going on the world around us. Because in here it kind of includes like these mega storms or something like that, or these catastrophic kind of storms, and there's these one kind of class of people within the society that can kind of stop these storms or can also summon these. So I'm very interested to see how she kind of blends those themes into kind of the story and seeing how it kind of progresses within the trilogy. A lot of people just rave about this, and N.K. Jemisin has just got a lot of books or other works that I really want to check out. I read The City We Became by her, and I really enjoyed that, and I believe that is going to be a duology, and the second book is coming out here pretty soon, or might already be out. But since I enjoyed that so much, I really am hoping that I'll kind of enjoy these just as much and then dive into all of her other series. And I'm very interested to see what she will come out with after the kind of the City We Became kind of a little duology. Another trilogy that kind of takes place in this kind of multiverse kind of sense, the realm of the Elderlings, and I really am going to be picking up The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb next month. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, if I can kind of squeeze it in here and there. But a lot of people are kind of, I feel like most people really enjoy this, but I feel like a lot of people don't like being in Fitz's head the whole trilogy. But from what I've heard, a lot of people just love spending time with Fitz and seeing him grow with each book. And they also say that kind of Robin Hobb just completely shatters him throughout the 3 books and puts him through tests and tribulations that kind of just hurt both you as the reader as well as Fitz. And I think she just finished off Fitz's kind of tale in her later works within the realm of the Elderlings, but a lot of the other books within the realm of the Elderlings sound interesting as well. I know the Ship of Magic, and then there's a whole dragon trilogy or quartet, I believe, that sounds really interesting as well. And I really just want to dive into all of Robin Hobb's works to kind of help me with my writing as well, kind of see how her writing style and her character development and arcs and character work in general, and how that kind of plays into just her writing style. So next month, hopefully. And the last kind of adult fantasy before getting into one middle grade trilogy, and this is a quartet, and it's by probably one of my favorite authors of all time. It'll depend on this series in general and how the Bloodsworn trilogy kind of finished off, but I picked up Malice a little bit ago as well, which is the first book in the Faithful and the Fallen, and this actually is a quartet, but then there's another trilogy afterwards, and this, I believe, centers around kind of Celtic mythology, as well as kind of the Britons versus the Romans, and I'm very interested to see how kind of John Gwynne kind of takes his spin on Celtic mythology. In the Bloodsworn trilogy, the first 2 books, you see Norse mythology, and you definitely see how he's kind of taken his inspiration from those books, but as well as how he's kind of made them his own. And I just really loved everything about those 2 books. I feel like The Shadow of the Gods, if you didn't know, it was my favorite book of last year. And if I do enjoy this one, it's gonna have to, if I do enjoy each book, they're going to have to compete with The Hunger of the Gods, which is the second book for my top pick for this year, my favorite read. So I'm kind of fingers crossed that I will kind of enjoy these just as much. I know a lot of kind of my friends on BookTube also enjoy this, so we'll see how it goes. I'm also hoping to pick up this pretty soon and kind of just go completely binge the whole series, because I'm sad that I have to wait for the final book in the Bloodsworn trilogy. I almost don't want to read it because I have a feeling that John Gwynne is going to completely ruin me and break my heart, because some of those characters in that Bloodsworn first 2 books are some of my favorite of all time, and that is another thing I've heard in this about these, is the characters are just so intriguing, and you definitely see their arcs through the 4 books. So Malice coming up here pretty soon. And this last series has actually been on my shelves forever. I bought them when I was kind of making my way through all of Rick Riordan's middle grade novels, because I just absolutely loved Percy Jackson, and then I was kind of rereading them all, and then I picked up the kind of Magnus Chase series that he kind of came out with a while ago. For some reason, I just never picked it up when I got those other ones. It's just been sitting there. I've got the whole trilogy, and I believe one of my friends, Kurt, actually, this is one of his favorites of Rick Riordan's as well, and it's kind of centered around Norse mythology, which is one of my favorites. So we'll see how it goes. I believe this follows Annabeth's cousin, and Annabeth is one of my favorite characters within just the kind of the Rick Riordan universe. So I hope that she kind of makes some appearances in this as well, but I'm also just interested to and want more characters. I feel like Rick Riordan's character work in each of his series and books is just some of the best for middle grade that I've read, and just in general for all the books I've read. So I'm hoping that these is just as good as those other ones and become a favorite like all those other ones that I've read. And now I want to get into just a couple of standalones that I'm hoping to kind of read before the year is over. I feel like standalones within the kind of fantasy and sci-fi genre are very rare, and I'm in the middle of a lot of series, and I just kind of want a little one and done with some of these books. And the first one is it could be a trilogy, I guess, if we kind of split the books up, but it is well loved, well praised on BookTube. And I really want to get into more of this author's kind of works in the future. Her Bone Season series, little tongue twister there, is kind of highly praised as well, and it sounds right up my alley. But this first one that I have is this thick tome, The Priory of the Orange Tree. I believe it's got dragons in it, but it's not kind of the center stage masterpiece within the work. But other than kind of the high praise and that I've heard, as well as kind of all-time favorite list, this is one that always seems to be on a lot of people's favorites list. So other than that, like, I have no idea what's going on with it, and I really want to just kind of go in blind and try and finish it in one go. I don't know if that's smart or not, but it's almost 1,000 pages, and you could probably kill someone with this. On the opposite side of the spectrum, I've got a short kind of sci-fi. I guess it could be like a little bit of a novella, but This Is How You Lose the Time one. This was going around BookTube a couple years ago, and a lot of people seem to be enjoying it. Kind of got parallel universes. Oh my god, I can't speak today. But the two rival kind of agents within these groups have been at war. They work within different universes, and they kind of been at war with each other. And I believe they start to develop a romance over kind of like a letter, and they're kind of leaving hints as they kind of work against each other, but also kind of catching feelings for each other. But other than that, like, I have no idea, and I'm just hoping that it's kind of a great read. I've always been really interested in kind of parallel universes after kind of reading Dark Matter and several other works. So if you have any other great recommendations, please let me know. But it's a short read, and maybe I'll read it after reading Priory of the Orange Tree. And the last kind of standalone fantasy that I really want to kind of finish before the year is over is Howl's Moving Castle. I've loved the Studio Ghibli film, but I've never read the book by Diane Wynne-Jones. I don't think I need to say anything about this. I'm curious to see how, like, the adaptation, or if it was kind of faithful to the novel or not, but I don't need to say any more. I hope that I enjoyed just as much as the film, and after finishing this, I just plan on just watching the movie again, and hopefully I'll fall in love with this just as much as the movie. As far as kind of writing goals go, I think I can finish the first draft of Project Fairy Tale before 2022. But if I can't, like, there's no problem, there's no rush or anything like that. There's one thing that I've noticed about kind of my writing is if I kind of rush and stress over just deadlines and stuff like that, my writing is terrible. But when I just kind of take it slow and enjoy the process of just learning as I go, it's been a ton better. So I think I'm around like 100,000 words currently, and I'm planning on it being anywhere from like 175,000 to 200,000, just because it follows like 4 different perspectives. So it's got a lot going on within it. But just based on kind of the words that I put out each day, I think it should be done before the year is over, kind of the first draft, and then comes the kind of editing and revision process, and we'll see how it kind of goes as it kind of progresses. But as far as kind of channel goals, I just want to continue to kind of post videos regularly. I'm trying to post 2 a week, but if I can't, there'll at least be 1 out each week. I'm hoping to get it out Thursdays and Sundays. But I don't know, with school and everything kind of coming to a close here pretty soon, with graduation and everything, I feel like it's gonna be tough. So, especially senior thesis, because this is already a daunting task, and I've kind of been trying to get going with that this summer during break while I'm taking other classes. But I'm hoping to put out 2 videos a week. But other than that, that is going to be all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next adventure. But it is time for Ellie to come on here and first wish you all to have a splendid day. But she also says that adventure is out there. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.